the incomparable Misty Copeland. She will be back center stage this spring for the American Ballet Theater's upcoming season at Lincoln Center, which gets underway in May. You will remember that she made history back in 2015 when she became the first African-American ballerina to be named a principal dancer in the company's 75-year history. Since then, this bold ballerina has brought plenty of new fans into the theater while pushing to make the world of ballet a more diverse and inclusive place. As part of that push, she's looking back at the black dancers who paved the way for her rise from poverty to superstardom, including one of her mentors, Raven Wilkinson. Wilkinson, the New York dance legend, died in December at the age of 83, following a career that saw her overcome discrimination and segregation to become one of the first African Americans to perform with a major ballet company. She passed down her knowledge to Misty Copeland, who next Monday in Harlem will host a celebration of Wilkinson's life. Tonight, in honor of Women's History Month, we're taking a closer look at the remarkable careers of both of these trailblazing ballerinas. And to help us do just that, it is our pleasure to welcome Misty Copeland back to MetroFocus. There's so much I want to talk to you about,
okay.
and we'll get to changes, what you're seeing in terms of diversity on stage, in front of the stage.
Yeah.
But I want to focus first on Raven Wilkinson. How did you first learn of her?
Yeah, it's really interesting. You know, it's something that I've discovered and found. I felt like it was somewhat a part of my purpose, and you know, not just to be a classical dancer, not just to be a ballerina, but really taking ownership and responsibility in my position as a black ballerina and how I'm seen. And I think that realizing that I didn't have that to look at growing up. They were there and they existed, but I was not shown it. It's not something that you can easily access. I remember the first time I saw a black ballerina was probably Lauren Anderson. I think she's on the cover of like Point magazine or Dance magazine, one of those, and it was shocking. Like I didn't know even like what it was. I couldn't identify
who looks like
the
me.
feelings I had. But it was Raven the first time I feel like it all clicked. I was already a professional dancer. I was in the Corps de Ballet, I believe, and I was watching a documentary on the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, which was the company that she danced with. It's no longer in existence now, in the 1950s. And she came onto the screen and she started speaking, and I immediately just started bawling my eyes out. It was this like immediate recognition that I'd never experienced.
Here was someone who paved the way for me, and I didn't even know of her
exactly.
existence.
But I couldn't even truly, again, like articulate or understand why I was so emotional. And that's why I understand the importance of me being in this position, just simply to have a young person look at me and see an opportunity through me, like themselves through me, an opportunity for themselves, whether it is to be a dancer or not, but that there's someone succeeding that looks like them. And Raven was that for me, and it literally changed my world right then, in that moment.
When you learn about her life and you look at her travails, what did you learn about her, what confronted her, and how she handled it?
It was really just eye-opening, you know, when I think about, I mean, clearly in the past and throughout history, just being African-American, you're going to have experienced just so many hurdles and obstacles that have clearly gotten easier for us now, though we still have so many roadblocks. And to feel that, you know, I was the only black woman in American Ballet Theater for over a decade, and I'm, you know, sitting there thinking like, this is so hard for me, and I'm fighting. And then I watched this amazing woman share her story. She danced for a short period of time with the Ballet Russe because her life was being threatened by the KKK, and that was what ended her career. And to see the strength in her, that she was so clear about her identity and who she was and how she wanted to be perceived, but wanting to do what she loved. You know, it's very easy for a black dancer, especially in that time, to be pressured into, you know, passing, they say.
Right.
And
she talks about that. I've seen her
talking
about that. She was encouraged to try to pass as being white.
And that was not something that she, you know, she was going to do. And I just respect her even more because of the person that she was as a dancer, and then the person I got to know, which was absolutely I never imagined that I would actually become like a very close friend of hers.
What was that like for you when you first met her and you first had that opportunity? Now you knew who she was and what she had done, and you saw where you had gotten now. What was that first reaction to her?
Well, it was just, I feel like everything happened so quickly, you know, to go my, you know, almost entire like adolescence of training as a dancer, not really having that person. And then all of a sudden she's thrust into my life and I'm so motivated and inspired to, you know, to be a voice for the Black community and especially the Black dance community. And then I started working with my manager, Gilda Squire. It was very early on in our relationship, and I would speak about Raven in almost every interview, and she was kind of like, who is this Raven person? And she looked her up, found out she was living, and she lived like a half a block from me. And she would come and see me perform throughout my entire like early career. The first time we spoke was actually live on a radio interview to promote a panel kind of discussion we did of 2 generations of Black ballerinas at the Studio Museum in Harlem. So the first time we met was at the Studio Museum, and it was so overwhelmingly emotional.
There's a marvelous photograph that I saw of her coming on stage with flowers. For you, it was one of the major professional highlights in your career.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, because you watched that and you said, here's a progression from one pioneer to another.
Yeah. I just feel very fortunate that I'm surrounded by a team of Black women who are strong and that understand all of the important points in my career, and my manager made that happen. And that it was a monumental moment that I think would not have just been lent to me. To be able to have Lauren Anderson, who was the first Black principal ballerina with Houston Ballet, she first came onto the stage in my debut as the Swan Queen in New York City. And she presented me flowers, and then Raven came out afterwards. Then it was just...
You know what I was struck by? In looking, I got the photo and I blew it up, and you look at Raven's face as she held, and it's as if she is, in a sense, she's not just holding the flower, she's embracing you and what you have become. And there's a real sense of pride there, and a sense of, in some ways, maybe of ownership.
Yeah.
Saying, this is what I begat.
Yeah.
It came from me, Raven, and it comes to Misty.
I don't know that she'd ever admit that. I don't think she'd ever say that.
Right.
But that's what I know and I felt. And I think it's important for this generation of brown people to see that community and that support from 2 Black women. And it was like she was passing me the torch. And that's what's so amazing. You know, she had said to me on many occasions that she didn't think she'd ever see a Black principal ballerina in a company of this caliber in her lifetime. So for her to have witnessed it.
Yeah, that's great for you to have done it, but marvelous for her to be there and still be with us and have witnessed it for you.
She paved the way for me to have that opportunity. So.
Let me talk about opportunities, all right? And it's a good segue for you, for us to talk about, and some of the things that you've talked about, places that you've been, where you are now. I was struck by, in watching one of the interviews you did, where you talked about, firstly, it's interesting that you didn't start dancing until you were 13, which is sort of an eternity after what many young women do.
Yeah.
And you talked about the fact that you know, we mentioned roadblocks and hurdles. And people would look at you and say, well, you don't have the body for a dancer.
Yeah.
And I think anybody who has seen you dance, you know, I've watched it and said, I mean, that's just, what could they possibly be talking about? Because I can't imagine you'd be any better at dancing than what Misty is.
Thank you.
What did that mean? And what kind of a hurdle does that become?
It's really fascinating. You know, the reason that I was discovered at such a late age was because they were like, wow, you have the body of a ballerina. So this is going to be really easy to get, you know, like you were very capable. I was very flexible. I had muscle, like the right type, lean, long muscle. I was strong. I was hypermobile. All of these things that are huge assets But then I get to a point later in my career where I become a professional, and those words are being used in a completely opposite way. So, you know, it took me a while to decipher what that language meant. And I think that's something that every Black dancer has experienced. You know, it's a way that's acceptable language that the ballet world can use to say you don't belong here.
Kind of a code.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's like, you know, it's about our aesthetic. That's everything. So it's not wrong to say, like, I'm sorry, you just don't have the right look or build. But that's been used as a way to keep Black and brown bodies off the stage, especially in major classical companies. I've been very comfortable with bringing that discussion to the forefront because I think it's so important and necessary to have. And, you know, just to be upfront and honest about, you know, my experiences, and of course I have to take care of myself as an athlete and as a dancer, and this is my instrument, and if I don't have this, I can't dance. And so, you know, it's important to be healthy and to take care of yourself, but at the same time, you know, there's only so much you can change about your body. And my skin color, I cannot change. Sure. So I think it's an important message and, you know, thing for young people to see.
In many ways, you are an agent of change. You want to be an agent of change. Let me start first with when you're on stage and you look out.
Yeah.
Are you seeing something different now when you look out into the audience?
Well, when I'm on the stage in a classical ballet, like in a theater, you can't see the audience. It's just black out there, which was why I loved it so much. I was so shy and introverted that I was like, wow, I feel so safe. I can't see anyone and I can do what I love. So that's a great thing. But you know, it's after the performances or before, when people show me pictures of the line that's stretching from the street in front of the Metropolitan Opera House into the box office, that's insane. That's a very long way, and it's full of brown people. And that has, I don't think, has ever been done, at least at the Metropolitan Opera House and a lot of big classical theaters. And that is just, it's so important for this generation to see that they're welcomed in those spaces.
How about when you're on stage and you look around you and behind you? Are you seeing change there too?
No, it's much slower to, you know, I'm very fortunate that I'm in a position that, you know, I'm seen by so many people, and not just in America, and so I think it's much easier to then get audience members that are more diverse, that want to support you and want their children. They finally have someone to show that, you know, it's not like they can take their children and it's like, well, why am I even going to put them into this field if they're never going to succeed? And just to have that person that they can look up to and that they can dream through, that's a much easier way of getting people in the door, but it's the whole system and structure of classical dance.
Why are we not seeing more Misty Copelands?
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, it's so deep. You know, it's trying to change something. You know, again, it's a European art form, which I think that we are ready to break away from that and make it an American art form. You know, that it's constantly evolving, and I don't think it just belongs to, you know, the French and the Russians and the Italians anymore. I think that we've created our own way of creating ballet in an American way. So I think that it's really about just changing people's perceptions and what's possible. You know, we're so used to thinking, like, when you think of a corps de ballet, it's like everyone has to look exactly the same and dance in unison. And, you know, when you come to the theater, it's this beautiful escape that you can, it's fantasy, you're creating, it doesn't have to be so literal. You know, when people take on roles, they, you know, throughout history, white dancers have portrayed being a Greek person, being Indian, and so why can't we be anything we want to be as black dancers? You know, no one's a swan queen, you know, no one's a sylph on stage. So like, that's the point of it, is that you're creating art, and it should be fantasy, so you should be able to be anything. But it's really about getting to the root of, you know, the opportunities, the financial burden, and just being able to bring dance to the communities where they don't have access, to have teachers that look like them in those communities, making it accessible and affordable, bringing in dancers that are of color within these top companies as well. But it's like if you don't have a large group of dancers that have the training, then there's no one to choose from when you get to those top tiered companies.
And it's such a difficult journey, as you know, getting to that top tier.
And so it's going to take a long time to kind of reach that point where we start to see a bigger, change.
Are you optimistic? Do you think we're moving in that direction to some degree?
I'm doing everything I can, and I won't stop for as long as I'm still here. That's like my mission, and I'm constantly trying to find ways to make that happen. And I think that the more that I just have a voice and use it on every platform that I have, as well as embracing and supporting other Black dancers. That I feel like I'm just a vessel for so many dancers that have paved the way for me, and for future dancers that I'm constantly saying, like, it's not about me, it's not about me, it's what I represent, and that's why I do what I do.
Mm. Well, I will say this for you. You say it's not about me, and I know you believe that, but I can tell you that it is about you, and your fans will say that, the people who look to you for inspiration. But we look at what you have done, and in talking with you about Raven Wilkinson, I know you are certainly proud of her accomplishments, and we know that before she left us, and still today, I'm sure she's extraordinarily proud of what you've been able to do.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you so much.
As I said, you are indeed an inspiration to so many, and such a delight to watch perform and to talk with. So thank you, and I hope we can talk again down the road.
Yes, you too.